So the purpose of Catalyst. Catalyst is a place for community connection that matters. I'm going to read this verbatim because I don't want to mess it up. This is a safe place to explore issues that face our community. We're a diverse group of people from different perspectives that can come together and work together for the benefit of our community. Now, our hope for you is that you'll connect with one another, that you'll share your visions and your passions, that you can start to begin to build trust with one another, so that you can collaborate together, and that we can impact our community in an amazing way. And we do that here, and you guys do that great, and so we're excited about this. All right, well, this morning, our topic for this morning is celebrating generosity. Now, generosity is alive and well in Stanislaus County, and we're going to get to hear from 3 nonprofits about how they have experienced generosity from our community. Come on up, guys. I'll keep introducing you. Come on up and have a seat and grab your mics. So we're going to be hearing from 3 people from 3 different nonprofits. Nancy Daly from Jessica's House in Turlock. Maria, remind me how to say your last name again, Maria? Ariano. From the Salvation Army in Modesto, and Brian Marks from Love Stanislaus. Could you guys give them a warm welcome for me? All right. I don't wear a jacket that often, so I got to figure out what I'm doing here. Pop a button. It's not going to be pretty. All right. I have some questions for you guys and help you out. How many gifts did they get? No, I'm just kidding.
We lost.
Yeah, I know, I did too. And I had the answers and I lost them. So we'll start on this side and work our way that way. And so would you just introduce yourself a minute, introduce who you are, how long you've been in the community, and maybe something about your family.
Okay. Hi, I'm Nancy Daly, and I'm from Jessica's House, which is located in Turlock. And I've been in the community about 38 years. In fact, I went to church here, and my husband Gary and I got married here in the little chapel. My husband passed away 9 years ago, but I collected grandchildren after that, and I have 7 grandchildren, and we have 4 children. And I think I answered everything.
I think you did. Thanks, Nancy. Maria?
Yeah. My name is Maria Ariano, and I've been in this community 24 years now. I came from the East Bay. I have a nice little family. I have 4 children, 2 adult and 2 that are 15. I have 3 grandkids, and I just love this community.
Great. Thanks for sharing. Mark? Brian?
Wow, it must be the shoes.
Yeah, I know. Mr. Marks, I should have said, right?
My name is Brian Justin Marks, and I have lived in the Central Valley my entire life, born and raised, family originally from Oakland, California, go A's. And I have a beautiful wife, Sandy, and my 20-year-old son, Kyler.
Great, thanks for sharing. If we could pray for Brian being an A's fan, lift him up in prayer. No, just kidding. I love Brian. Brian's great. Well, thank you guys for sharing. So we'll go in the same order. So my second question for you, or ask, is introduce your organization. Name of organization, what your role is there, maybe your location or locations, organization's age, or what your organization does, or your purpose.
Okay. I work for Jessica's House, and I work with all the little kids shorter than me. And also, I'm the fundraiser, the chairman of the fundraiser for Jessica's House. We're located in Turlock off of Christofferson, and we just built a home, 15,300 square feet. We were in a little house on Main Street, downtown Turlock, for almost 7 years, which was about 2,000 square feet. So you can tell we've gotten bigger. And I forgot the other.
Organization's age and what you guys do.
Okay, perfect. That's most important. So we started, excuse me, in April 2012. So we've been 9 years. And what we do is we work with families, grieving families. So we work with all kinds of death. They experience, they are placed in the light death, so parent loss, sibling loss, homicide, suicide, accidental overdose, infant loss or miscarriage, and we have a COVID group. The age group is from 0 all the way up to older than me. We have all ages that come to our facility.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. Maria, so your name, your organization name, what's your role there, location or locations, organization's age, and what your organization does.
Okay. I'm the operation manager at the Salvation Army Red Shield. I work for the Salvation Army, which is bigger in Modesto than most locations. So my location is in South Modesto, which is really amazing. I work at the community center. We have a lot of programs that we offer to children all the way to adults. And the Salvation Army in general in Modesto oversees a lot of different areas. It goes from homelessness to homeless shelters to social services to food banks and veterans and then youth. And so it's just a multitude of different parts of the Salvation Army, and I'm blessed to be a part of that organization. The Salvation Army has been around 156 years, I believe. It's a worldwide organization. My location has been around for 51 years. So the Red Shield was built in the 1970s, and it's, like I said, it's a community center. And it's not just an after-school program, it's a lot more than that, but it's an amazing place, and God just continues to provide. And so we keep our doors open, and we continue to serve our community.
Awesome. That's great. Thanks, Maria, for sharing. Brian, so what's your organization, your role, location, organization's age, and what do you guys do?
So I'm with, I'm with Love Stanislaus County, and my role there is as the executive director. So I get to work with our amazing team that is really passionate about giving back and serving the community. We are located at 909 14th Street. We have a nice, beautiful Victorian home we moved into last April, very similar to the McHenry Mansion. We're 7 years old. We started as a nonprofit in 2014. And what we do essentially, many of you know and have heard of Love Modesto. So this was what's amazing about Modesto and Stanislaus County, a lot of entrepreneurial spirit, and a lot of stepping into the community when there's a problem and how can we fix that instead of talking about what can't be done. So our CEO, founder Jeff Pishney, was the brainchild of this and brought it together and brought Love Modesto. That led to developing a nonprofit. And so now in 2019, we went from serving just Modesto to being Love Stanislaus County and serving all of Stanislaus County. So as you drive around, you see Love Modesto signs, Love Turlock, Love Oakdale, Love Patterson. Then within our organization, we also have 3 wonderful programs. One, Love Our Neighbors, that helps connect volunteers with volunteer opportunities. We have Love Our Kids, which works with foster youth. In fact, we have an event coming up this Saturday. And then we have our Love Our Schools program that helps put a village around schools and partner churches and community members and businesses to help schools overcome the resources that they need there.
That's great. Amazing. Thanks for sharing. All right, we'll go back around the horn. The next question. How has your organization experienced generosity this past year?
Well, we started a capital campaign 2 years ago, and Erin Nelson is here. She's the director, and I were able to go out into our community. But a month after we started, Erin's son was tragically killed in a car accident. And so that kind of put a hiccup in things. And God was so gracious because he said, continue to do this because this is important about grieving family. And so then I was able to get a committee of 12 steering committee to help me to go out in our community. And then the pandemic hit and the shutdown. Well, that didn't shut God down. He continued to provide, and we raised $6,800,000 in a year and a half. And it's such a blessing of knowing that God wants to take care of grieving families. And it's evident in our community and outside our community to the support for our families. And it's has been so amazing to watch how people have just embraced what our mission is at Jessica's house.
Wow, that's awesome to hear. Thank you for sharing. Maria, for you, how has your organization experienced generosity this past year?
So the Salvation Army has just received so much generosity. I can't speak for the whole Salvation Army in Modesto because I'm not in all departments, but what I did see over the last couple of months and year is the outpour from food that was donated, to the money that was donated, to the services that we were able to provide because of the donations that came in. When things did shut down and we thought there was no more fundraising for the year, the community just gathered together and they continue to support us by sending in donations and continuing to give us food and sanitizers and masks and everything that you could possibly need. They were just being poured in by our community and the love and being part of the Salvation Army, being hands-on. When we shut down, when the facility shut down, the work didn't shut down. It actually kicked up into high gear, and we were able to go from being a youth facility to being hands-on, making food boxes, delivering them to COVID patients, getting veterans into housing where they were safe and they were taken care of. So the Army's work, it doesn't exist without donors. It doesn't exist without the generosity of the community and the support. And so we just have continued to see a blessing through the whole pandemic. It hasn't stopped, and it's just overwhelming. It's amazing. It just pulls my heartstrings, and it brings a lot of emotions to see that we are so blessed to continue to do what we do, to be God's hands and feet. The Salvation Army's mission is to go into the world and to preach the gospel and to share the love of Jesus. And that never stops, no matter what we're doing. If we're doing a food box, or if we're visiting a family, or providing them services, or giving them activities to keep their kids busy during this time, the community just continues to call us and to say, can you use this? Can we donate this? We've been able to provide jackets to kids. It's amazing to give out 600, 700 jackets to children because their parents right now are struggling. They don't have the means. And so just seeing that the community continues year round to give, and the amazing generosity is just a blessing. And we just are so blessed to have that. And so it doesn't stop. I can't tell you numbers. I'm not a numbers person, but if you ever want to know, Major Harold is an amazing person. He can tell you everything. He knows everything about the Salvation Army of Modesto and who donates and stuff. All I know is I see love and generosity coming day in and day out.
Wow. Thanks for sharing, Maria. That's great. Brian, for you, how has your organization experienced generosity this past year?
Well, kind of like we're hearing right now, probably one of the most special things about Stanislaus County is just is the giving. We don't see it on a lot of slogans, but every time there is a need in our community, the community always steps up, and I think we can all attest to that. For us, our work is inspired by the Lord, and the Lord really has provided in this transition since COVID, and in the work that we're getting ready to do now moving forward. So some of our big highlights, I have three real quick here. One is during COVID, our Neighbors program pivoted from working with volunteers to like a lot of people, giving food to the elderly, giving food to our veterans. And so it was really powerful to see. We actually had volunteers fighting over shifts to go deliver the food. So that really gets to you when people want, in the middle of a pandemic, this is pre-vaccination, these people wanting to go out and serve. That's pretty powerful, and we consider ourselves an organization of the community. We consider our office the community's office. So to see that's pretty powerful. The second one is, some of you may be familiar with our Comfort Kit drive that we do through our Love Our Kids program. And what that is putting together backpacks that are full of blankets and water bottles and toothpaste for foster youth. And if you're familiar with foster youth, they can be pulled out of a home in the middle of the night. It can be very traumatic. They're transitioning. So this is just a little something for them to have when we work with the county. And so this Saturday we'll actually be putting together 400 kits for that. And what's amazing is this year, almost more than any, when most people have been hurt financially or hurt health-wise, we have more financial donations, more supply donations, and more participation almost than any other time. So that's pretty powerful. And then the last one is a really great story. It's always great when a sponsor gives you, a big check, and like anybody else, we survive on donations and grants. So it is the end of the year. If anybody feels like giving, you can go to www.lovestanislauscounty.com/donate.
You got me, Brian. You got
Had to get that in there. But our main annual sponsors, one of our main annual sponsors is DeHart Heating, Plumbing, and Air. And, they wrote the check like a lot of people do. But then Stephen Litt, their CEO, went way beyond that. He has partnered with us almost on a monthly basis to do something in the community. So when we're talking about the Comfort Kits, his organization over the last 2 months has helped get baby bottles for these kids, helped get blankets for the kids and things like that. And he wants to work with us every month with his team. So his team goes out into the community. And one of the biggest things, if you ever see the project list for Love Modesto, is his organization donates an entire HVAC system to a family in need. They install it, and they clean up the whole house, the yard, everything, all completely out of their generosity. So to see that impact from a business, just very, very, very powerful. So those are the three main ways that we've seen that. But we have people every day that stop by our office, or we'll get just a random check at www.lovestanislauscounty.com/donate. But it's just great to see that. No donation is too small or too big.
Yeah, make that the City Ministry Network. Don't forget, right, City Ministry Network.
But it is, as the rookie in my office, I'm actually getting ready to celebrate my 1-year anniversary next week. It's just breathtaking to see community. So I remind us, especially in this season when we get a little stressed, to remember just how wonderful our community is.
That's so dope. Dope means good, by the way, but that's awesome, man. So you guys.
Can I share? I forgot to share
Sure.
these stories. I was so fascinated by them. It is so amazing to be able to hear God working in all different areas. For us, when we shut down at the pandemic, we had over 400 individuals in the little house, and we were beginning to have to put them on a wait list. Now, after it opened up, we did Zoom the whole time with the kids and the families. When we opened up in September, we are at today we're seeing 414 individuals. And I just want to share one story. There's so many stories, but I love to share a story. Last night, I have littles, and they were laying in the circular room with their weighted blankets, and this was homicide and suicide and accidental overdose. And we were reading a story about the memory banks because we were doing luminaries to honor the person that died. And there was a little girl snuggled up with one of our volunteers. And that volunteer was with me when she was 7 years old when her dad died. And I was the one she was snuggling up with. And I was reading the book. I was watching her snuggle with this little girl she understands the Me Too. And the opportunities we have in our community, we serve 32 cities, is such a blessing to see people coming from Sacramento or Fresno, because they say, if our child had cancer or any kind of other disease, we would take them to the best place. And we are the only center in the Central Valley. There's one in Long Beach and one in Palo Alto. So God is moving in our community all over. We're all helping many to come to know Jesus. So it's pretty special.
So good. Nancy, Maria, Brian, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Hey, can we give them a round of applause? Great work. Thank you.